Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm James.
And I'm Sarah. It is so wonderful to have you with us today.
It really is. Ready to get into a really interesting topic.
I am so ready. I'm full of energy, and this is a good one.
It is. You know, as I was looking over our notes, it really struck me how confusing English can be for learners. It feels like half the time we're actively trying not to say what we mean.
It can definitely feel that way, can it? You want to be clear, but if you're too direct, you can end up sounding pretty rude.
Exactly. It's like walking on eggshells. So what I really want to figure out today is why we do this.
Mhm.
Is it just about being polite, or is there something more going on?
Oh, it's much deeper. We're talking about a concept called euphemisms.
Euphemisms, right?
Think of them as like the sugar coating on a bitter pill. Or maybe a better way to put it is they're the shock absorbers of language.
Shock absorbers, I like that. Because reality, things like death or losing your job, those are definitely bumpy roads.
Precisely. And if you hit those bumps with really direct language, you can, crash the whole conversation. So we use these softer words to keep everything moving smoothly.
So why can't I just say, for example, he's poor?
Well, in a lot of cultures, and especially in America in 2026, being that direct can sound like a judgment. It lacks empathy. Using a euphemism shows you respect the person's feelings.
Okay, that makes sense. So today, we're going to take a closer look at how to handle these sensitive topics, things like death, money, jobs, even personal appearance, without sounding rude.
And we'll start with what is probably the most sensitive area of all.
Death and loss.
Yes, this is where learners have to be the most careful. It's so easy to offend someone who's grieving if you use the wrong words.
So the direct word died. I can feel myself flinching just saying it. If I said to a friend, I heard your cat died, it just sounds so clinical.
It does. It sounds like a medical report. It has no softness, no emotional cushioning. So the standard phrase, the one you should always use, is passed away.
He passed away.
Yes, exactly. He passed away.
It does sound so much gentler, doesn't it? It implies a journey almost, like a transition, not just an end.
That's the key, a transition. It softens the finality of it. And
Yeah.
then for what you say in response, this is where people really get stuck.
Right. You want to say something comforting.
And I'm sorry can feel a little weak. The absolute gold standard, the phrase that works for any situation is, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Let's say that again, nice and clear. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Perfect. It works because you're not talking about the death itself. You're acknowledging the pain of the person left behind. You're validating their feeling of loss.
And that works for a person, a pet, anything really.
Anything. It always shows respect and empathy.
That's a great tool to have. So let's shift from personal life to the professional world, the workplace.
Ah, yes, corporate language. This is where euphemisms can start to feel less about empathy and more about hiding bad news.
It's incredible how many ways companies have invented to avoid saying the word fired.
Well, fired implies fault, It sounds aggressive. It's a messy word.
So what's the polite version?
The most common one is he was let go.
Let go. It sounds so passive, like you're just releasing a balloon or something.
Right. We didn't fire him. We just let him go. But it gets even more creative when it's a lot of people at once.
Oh, yeah. That's when you hear things like, the company is restructuring.
Restructuring, downsizing,
Right.
or my personal favorite, right-sizing.
Right sizing. It's just genius in a terrifying way. It frames this huge disruptive event as like a minor correction, like you're just adjusting the thermostat.
It completely dehumanizes it. And for the person who has been right-sized, well, they need their own euphemisms too.
Of course, you don't want to say, I'm unemployed. It sounds so final.
It sounds stagnant. To make it sound more proactive, you'd say, I'm between jobs at the moment.
Between jobs. I like that. It suggests you're on a journey from one place to the next.
Exactly. Or to sound even more strategic, you could say, I'm transitioning to a new career.
Ah, transitioning.
Hmm.
That makes it sound like a grand adventure, not a stressful gap in your resume.
It's all about framing the narrative. Which brings us to another topic where the narrative is everything. Money. A subject that in English-speaking cultures is often considered, well, the word is crass to talk about directly.
Crass, meaning rude or vulgar.
So we never say someone is poor. It sounds like a judgment.
So what do we say instead?
We focus on the circumstances. You might say, they are struggling a bit financially.
Struggling a bit financially, that's much more empathetic.
Or, in a more formal context, they are underprivileged. But what about the other side? Someone who has money but hates spending it.
You mean someone who's cheap?
Cheap is an insult. It's a real attack on their character.
So what's the polite way to say it?
You'd say he's very frugal
Frugal.
or thrifty.
You know, I actually like being called thrifty. To me, being cheap is when you don't leave a tip. Being thrifty is using a coupon so you have more money to leave a tip.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Thrifty is smart. Cheap is stingy. And what about people who have a lot of money? We don't really say he's rich.
It can sound a little jealous, maybe?
A bit, yeah. The polite terms are well off, or my favorite, they're comfortable.
Oh, comfortable is so wonderfully understated. It sounds like they have a nice armchair, but it means they probably own the company that makes the armchairs.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
very subtle. Okay, let's zoom in on something even more personal than money.
How we describe people's appearance.
A real minefield, especially these days. Let's start with age. The word old is, well, it's becoming a bit of a taboo.
Nobody wants to be called old.
Right. So we use phrases like senior citizens, or in a more poetic way, we talk about people in their golden years.
Golden years. That paints a nice picture. But the real danger zone is body size, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The word fat is just not used in polite conversation ever.
So what are the alternatives?
Well, the fashion world gave us plus-sized, which is a neutral term.
And what about for men? I've heard big boned.
Big boned is a classic. It's funny because it sort of blames the skeleton. It's not my fault, I just have heavy bones.
Huh. Right. But there's a more important rule now, isn't there?
Yes, and this is a really crucial cultural tip for 2026. The best euphemism for body size is silence.
Yes. Don't comment on it at all.
Don't comment at all.
Mm.
Unless you are their doctor, it's just not your place. Compliment their style, their smile, their energy, anything but their body.
That is very wise advice. Okay, let's get into daily life. I'm at a nice dinner and nature calls.
Uh-huh.
How do I excuse myself politely?
Well, you definitely don't announce what you're about to do. In the US, I need to use the bathroom is fine. Restroom is a little more formal.
Restroom? It's funny, no one is resting in
I
there.
know. If you want to be a bit more lighthearted or charming about it, you could say, "Excuse me, I need a nature break."
A nature break. I like that. And what if you're feeling sick?
No one needs the details. The go-to phrase is, "I'm feeling a bit under the weather."
Under the weather. It's so vague, but everyone knows exactly what it means.
It's perfect. It signals you're unwell without making anyone uncomfortable. Now, for the final one in this category, how to call someone a liar without starting a fight.
Oh, this is high-level stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you say you're a liar, that's it. Conversation over.
It is. The key is to criticize the statement, not the person. You can say, "That seems like a bit of an exaggeration."
So you give them an out. You're not lying, you just got carried away.
Exactly. But if you want the ultimate, most sophisticated way to say it, you use this beautiful phrase from British politics. He's being economical with the truth.
Economical with the truth. I love that so much. It sounds like he's being responsible, like he's carefully budgeting his facts.
It is just brilliant, isn't it? It means he's
Yeah.
lying, but it sounds so incredibly polite.
Which is a perfect transition to our last section, when these polite words go bad.
Right. When euphemisms become doublespeak, this is when the goal isn't to be kind, it's to hide the truth.
Like when I was looking for a car and the salesman told me they don't have used cars, they have pre-owned vehicles.
Pre-owned, a perfect example. It sounds so much more elegant than used. It's pure marketing.
And corporate offices are full of this stuff.
Oh, they're masters of it. For example, in an office in 2026, you don't make a mistake.
What do?
You have a learning opportunity.
Of course you do. I didn't crash the server. I created a valuable learning opportunity for our IT team.
See, it sounds positive. And a giant problem isn't a problem, it's a challenge. And when a whole business plan fails,
They don't fail, they pivot.
they pivot, yes. It's not a disaster, it's just a change in direction. It's all about controlling the message to avoid responsibility.
So really we have two types. There are kind euphemisms, like passed away, which protect other people's feelings.
And then there are control euphemisms like right sizing, which protect your own interests.
The lesson for our listeners is to learn how to use the first kind and how to spot the second.
That's a perfect summary.
So to bring it all home, what's the big takeaway?
I think it goes back to your phrase from the end, social lubricant. Don't think of euphemisms as being dishonest. Think of them as a tool you use to show kindness and keep conversations moving smoothly.
It's about prioritizing the human connection over just the raw facts.
That's it, exactly. When you choose a kind word, you're sending a message that you care about the other person. And that's a powerful thing.
This has been so incredibly useful. I feel like I have a much better map for navigating these tricky conversations.
I hope our listeners feel more comfortable with these ideas now, too.
Well, thank you for breaking all of this down for us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
And a huge thank you to all of you for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and come back to the Vivid English podcast.
Yes, be sure to tune in to Vivid English Podcast next time. We always have something new to explore.
Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.